Hey everybody, I know it's been a long time since I've done an update on my car. I think the last one I filmed it in November. Now it's July, so I've owned the car for about a year, and now we're at the point where it's time to do the engine swap. So I have everything pretty much ready to go. I have the car here, and today I'm getting it towed over to the shop. So it's been a long time since I've actually been under the hood of the car. The battery is now completely dead, doesn't do anything. There's definitely been something living under the hood of this car over the winter, so that's not great. But I've already started clearing some stuff out. Just trying to make some room in the engine bay, make it look a little bit cleaner for after the engine swap. So far I've taken some emission stuff out. It's got some purge valves, got the secondary air injection. I have the old igniter out. I'm not going to need any of this stuff anymore with the RB25, so really no point to keep it in the car. And get this area nice and cleaned up and ready to go. Just clean the engine bay up a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. So this is the Z32 transmission. This is one out of a 1992 NA 300ZX. Although according to the place I got it from, it's a 350Z, so that's nice of them. It should handle pretty much all the power that I could make, because this is the same transmission internally that came in the R32 and R33 GTR, so I really shouldn't have a problem. Even with the new turbo, it's not going to be an issue. What will be an issue is the length of it overall. So the casing itself is not that long, but these are remote mounted shifters. So what that means is that's not the shifter. It's supposed to sit back out here. So this connects to that little U-joint, and then the shifter goes back here, and then, you know, moves and all of that. But if I have it out there, that's going to be way too long for what I need. So I have a shorter bracket, and this is the kit itself. So I have the shifter extension housing itself. Basically this just mounts the new shift lever. This is to replace that little dog leg thing, and then I have the short shifter with it. So this just sits right on top here, and then this will go, well, I have to take it apart, but it'll go through here, and that's what my shifter will be now. So the process itself is pretty straightforward. Basically this just goes on here, bolt goes through, the next step is going to be to take this apart. Basically just unthread the nuts, and then it pops apart. Alright, so now it's on. In the instructions it does tell you not to put this in yet. I don't have it tightened down, it's just there to hold it together so everything doesn't fall apart. Alright, so basically what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to slide this up through here, and then stick the bolt through it just to hold it. Basically that just makes it more stable as I go through the rest of it. I'm not going to tighten up either of these yet, it's just sitting there. So alright, so there you have it. Other than, like I said, the two bolts here, everything is all set to go. Alright, so just a couple updates from the other day, just to show you where we are. I have everything hooked up. Some bolts in the front, and then I have a chain just wrapped around the transmission, around the exhaust manifold. It's working so far, but it did get stuck. Turns out I forgot to disconnect the heater core hoses, so got those off, and it's already off the mounts. I'm hoping with that I'll be able to just pull it right out the front. So now that the engine's out, we're just going through and we're cleaning everything up. There are a lot of wires, and all of the harnesses are kind of just connected together. So we're disconnecting it from the ECU down there. Josh is in there now, and we're just going to pull everything out because we don't need any of the engine harness anymore, but we do need the rest of it. Alright, sorry I didn't do much filming. Took a little bit longer than expected, but we got a lot of work done. So the engine is out of the car, transmission's out of the car. We simplified most of the wiring, so that's pretty much out. We got the new subframe in that'll fit the RB, and I got my new, well, used BC coilovers S13 control arms, and we got all that in there with the Z32 brakes. So they fit fairly well, but I think I'm going to need a new one for that corner. It's worse than I expected, so might have to get a new one. So now that the wheel's off, there's a few things that you notice really quickly. The first thing is that the hub, the actual hub, is really far back in the wheel well. That's because the Z31 knuckles, which are integrated into the struts, that spindle does not actually line up with the strut, which it does on the S13. On the Z31, about an inch forward, so it's really far back. I do have adjustable tension arms on the way, so that'll fix that. I'll be able to pull that forward a bit. The other thing that you notice is that there's a lot of toe out. So basically what's happening is my S13 control arms right there are about 10 or 15 millimeters longer, and my tie rods are not. There may be enough adjustment in there normally, but I don't think so. So basically what I'm gonna have to do is, well, actually I already did it. I ordered adjustable tie rod ends. I do also need some new sway bar end links. Not because these ones won't fit or anything, they're just in really bad shape. So just have to get new ones there. So the suspension setup on this car right now is, I mean, it'll be familiar to anyone who's worked on pretty much most Nissans for a while now. So I obviously have the S13 pieces over here, you know, actually really the whole thing, the whole corner. But I mean, they all pretty much have the same tension rod setup or type setup. This one it's an 87, so it's the older style of tension arm. So what that means here is it's just one long bar that goes into just this bushing at the end that goes through like this little H piece and this crossbar. The 87 and 89s are similar to S13s, where this arm just has a through bolt that goes through here. The adjustable ones that I purchased, the only ones that I could find that actually fit, because these are much longer than S13 arms, is I've heard that some like R31 rods and a couple other things fit, but they're odd also, and I couldn't find those really at all. So the rods that I went with are actually the 87 to 89 style, or 88 to 89 style. So I'm gonna have to modify this bracket. I found a few things online where people have done this exact same thing, because it's really hard to get the brackets for the 88s and 89s, because, you know, it was the two rarest years of production for it. So basically what you do is you take the tension arm off, you pretty much just Dremel or angle grind most of this out, most of this little H piece, and then, you know, just drill a hole. Seen a few where they've gone through the front of it, but that makes the arm too short, and where I'm going to be having to pull, you know, having to shorten that arm anyway to pull the knuckle forward. A few people also bolted to the back side of this, so it gets it a little bit longer. It'll give me a little bit more play, so I can pull that out to try to pull the suspension forward.
So Ted's been filming some stuff here and there about his Z31. I know really wanted to put an update out for this. So he's been doing a little videos here and there about pulling the motor out and stuff like that, but I figured we'd get a real go around of the motor, because it's basically ready to go in. And just kind of a brief overview of where we stand right now, so that way, you know, it makes a little more sense. It doesn't look as nice because there's a bunch of crap around it. No, you can leave it. You can leave it. Oh, where's the cover? You got to put the cover on it. So look at that. There we go. So here is the RB, basically ready to go in. It only needs a few things. If you couldn't tell, Ted's going for like an Iron Man look, which I think looks absolutely badass. So you have, what have we gone? I don't think you had any of this last time.
No, all of this was gone.
So we got a fake Greddy manifold, a nice radium rail.
These are from an R35 GTR, so they're 570cc per minute. Which I wasn't gonna do any of this originally, but I figured the stock injectors are 320s.
There's a lot of that going on. I think they'll see. Obviously, it looks like garbage with the stock manifold, so Ted went and picked this fancy one up. It just needs some clearancing,
and none of the bolts fit.
But yeah, it'll work. You just got to do some clearancing. Yeah, there's two turbos here. So Ted hasn't even put the engine in yet, but he decided he wants more power, which, I mean, I really can't blame him.
No. This one, old, lame, small, maximum of like 280 wheel, so that's fine.
You probably sell this thing, right?
Yeah.
So he upgraded for this hypergear unit.
It's a high flow. They're really popular in Australia. It's a Garrett center cartridge and actually a Garrett rear housing too, using the stock front Nissan compressor housing, so that way it just bolts right on.
Yum.
Uses the stock
I
Nissan.
love this. I love how smart that is. Just
Isn't it?
weld on to the flange.
Yeah. It's brilliant and it's simple.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might actually do this with my 1J.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up one of these because they have a couple different trim levels, and they even have a ball bearing option that's just direct stock bolt
And
down.
they're pretty cheap too.
I mean, you dressed up the engine, you got the new mounts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Picked up a wiring specialties harness.
Mm-hmm. The entire harness isn't here at the moment, but you know,
So it's an
just the whole
RB25
engine.
Neo harness, but is it a direct into the Z31?
No.
So it's
They
universal
don't-
kit?
Yeah, it's a universal
just,
harness.
Just
They
like
don't-
mine.
Yeah, they don't have one for the Z31. Nobody has anything for the
Well,
Z31.
I can help you out with that because that was easy.
Yeah.
I know you have to do the head drain for the
Yep.
oil. So
Yep.
other than that, what's left to getting this in there?
Clearancing the manifold, and that's it.
That's about it?
Yeah.
And then sticking the transmission
engine-wise.
on.
Yeah, the transmission is fighting me, but
You'll get there.
yeah.
I know you have, you don't have it with you here, but you have an ACT clutch.
I bought a spec stage 1. It would have been good for about 380-ish pound-feet.
So we got like a stage 1 clutch early on in the project, and then he kind of expanded his horizons a bit and went with a bigger turbo. So that led him to getting a, which clutch you get now? What does it go to? 500?
Yeah, 500.
There you go.
Yeah.
That'll feel a little better too.
Yeah, ACT Extreme.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what else? So you have the transmission all ready to go.
I just need to swap the bell housing over.
You have a hole.
Yeah.
Nice.
We got, thanks to Josh, we got most of the stock wiring harness cut down because it's not a separate engine harness. It just goes through everything. So we got many, many feet of wire cut out from there. Evan helped me swap over the subframe, so I have this brand new, well, modified subframe that'll work with the RB.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna have to work on the power steering lines. They don't fit.
Yeah, you'll
but
make it work.
Yeah, that's easy. That's easy.
This is fun stuff. You cut the core so it'll just drop right in.
Yep, it should.
Are you
it
gonna
should
grab
slide
another
straight.
one to bolt in one, or are you gonna
Oh,
like
I have one right there. I mean, it's still there. Like, I'm just gonna either bolt it in or weld it back in.
just make another bracket that makes it bolt onto that?
Yeah.
Cool.
That should be the easy.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? That's something I have to do with my car.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
So yeah, there's been a lot of progress. Coincidentally, once again, like just like the last update video, whenever Ted does the major amount of work, I'm always like on vacation or something. So I was down the Cape for a weekend, and they got the motor out. So
yeah,
I didn't film any of that, but I
Very
think
nice
Ted got a good amount of.
I got a little bit.
Yeah. Like we said before, he just has to do a little more work to the manifold and then mount the transmission and stuff up, and then the engine is ready to go in. But that'll be in the next Z31 update video. So if you guys like this video, or please hit the like button. If you want to keep following along with this build, the Z31 project, or the 1JRX7, or anything else we do here, please subscribe and hit that little notification bell. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.